good evening, or, whatever time it is. I tend to say that a lot. I'm like, well, it might not be evening. Wherever you are in time and space, welcome to the Paintball Ruined My Life live stream, where we're going to talk about Dan Bilzerian the whole time. No, let's never bring him up. That's all we're bringing him up. Welcome. We got paintball news to talk about. The title might give it away just a little bit. We're going to talk about that Dynasty Aftershock live stream special tournament event. The ICPL, there's maybe a new NXL TV show. We'll talk about that. NXL brackets, there's a new Powerhouse regulator. And speaking of the new Powerhouse regulator, the sponsor of said live stream, bfpgear.com, just got the new Powerhouse regulator in. They have all kinds of Powerhouse regs too. It's not just, their new hook regulator. They got that newer counterpunch one, the high-end version. bfpgear.com have been a long time supporter of this thing. Think about supporting this channel by, supporting BFP Gear. I also really like how they have where they have this stuff in stock. So if you're local to a store, you can actually see what stuff they have. These jerseys or shirts or whatever. bfpgear.com. And I actually got to shoot and hold the CS3 Pro. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later though. bfpgear.com. And I have no idea what these numbers are in the chat. That's a whole new thing. I don't know what they mean. I also don't know what this tacos thing is about. I don't know. I have really no clue what these numbers mean. Brian, how's it going? Okay, I have a Paintball Ruin My Life hat, and it's sick. So do I. Check it out. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll get into our first said topic. I don't know. Let's just run it in order. I really want to know what these numbers mean, though. There's a leaderboard or something? How do you get points? Interesting. It's curious because I'm not on the screen you guys can see, but I mean you guys can see too if you hit the community leaderboard. Which is interesting. Maybe if you guys do super chats, you get extra points. Someone do a super chat. Let's find out. Chris, you just reminded me. I've had email horror this last couple weeks. I've been trying to email you for 4 days to reply to your email you wrote me. You've been added. If you checked the EMF raffle, you've actually been added to that. My emails, we're having a problem. Anyway, without further ado, let's actually jump into something. This weekend, June, now I'm saying it out loud. I might have this date wrong, so let's actually open up the website. I was going to say this weekend, June 6th, but June 6th is not this weekend. June 7th is going to be, we'll say, the first ever Premier League paintball event or something, whatever we're calling this. And it's a match between Dynasty and Aftershock. They're going to be live streaming for only $5. I actually kind of like that price. I'm happy about that price. We're going to see someone super chatted. We're going to go back. I'm really curious about this points system. Chris? Freaking. Yeah, dude, my email, first of all. Switch back to Gmail from something else. Chris, no points for super chats, which is weird. I would assume they would have encouraged super chats because, YouTube makes money from them. So, you think they'd encourage people to do it more. Thanks, Chris. Back to this. The Dynasty Aftershock thing Someone asked in the chat where they're filming from or where they're live streaming from. It's going to be from Vendetta Paintball Park in Ogden, Utah? Lem, Utah? I know it's right outside of Salt Lake City. I think in between Ogden, I believe, and Salt Lake City, maybe. So I'm doing this off memory. I just realized I probably should have picked my notes up. But what's kind of interesting about this is it's going to be 15 balls a second. Right? I'm not insane. Now I'm like questioning. No, I'm trying to like frantically search. 15 balls a second? Someone let me know if I'm crazy in the chat really fast. Aftershock. I'm like searching really fast for my old news. I can't find it. There we go, right there. There we go, okay. 15 balls a second. So yes, I thought it was old school X-Ball, but then I'm like, man, maybe they're not doing 15, but 15 balls a second. And then also 25 or 20-minute halves. Now I also can't remember that because I've heard 3 different times. But it's going to be very long. So right now, in the finals, they're playing these halves, kinda. But increasing this time to nearly double the amount of points will be interesting. I know that Dynasty and Aftershock will be taking extra players too, where they're not going to run, 7 or 8 guys playing a possibility of 30, 35 points. You're going to have multiple players. So they're going to take kind of bulked up rosters as well. 2 25-minute halves, the real Rob Crotch says. It's going to be crazy. It's a very, very long one. So it could be curious. So happening the 7th, this Saturday, game starts at 10 a.m. They said the live stream will be starting at 9:45. And you can, see that link up there in the description or follow one that's also in the description. Not in the description. You can see the link on the screen. And there's a link in the description as well. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this is the format that X-Ball originally started at, essentially, The original NXL was, I think, 20-minute halves? I don't know. I don't remember. It was 21 years ago. Yeah, either way, it was like 20-minute halves and at that 15 balls a second. So it's cool to kind of like see that come back. A lot of people think that we should be shooting 15 balls a second for a various bunch of different reasons. So now at least we'll maybe get to like see how it plays out. Joey says there will be a giant center 50X, like old school X, like really old school. He played against the Rodents in 2004 in Chicago. I would have been at all the other ones. I don't think I went to Chicago. That's funny. Okay, we talked about that. Now I gotta go back to my notes and I want to talk about like something really old. I guess we'll just bust out like we'll just do the like cool news first. Like all the like interesting stuff. Not that one. So Tom Cole last week was on the Coaches Show on the Major League Paintball YouTube channel. There's a link if you want to watch the whole entire episode in the description. And more information, I think, about TV. Tom's also been on the Spick and Span show recently, kind of talking about what's going to happen with TV. And these were kind of the major takeaways or what's possibly going to happen in the near future. I mean, we know that ESPN, we did film, or the Go Sports crew or whatever was filming in Atlantic City to make that new hour-long show that's going to be on ESPN in August. And it's possible that there's another thing coming as well. And I think I like this. I think that this is probably more promising, or I kind of like this idea, we'll say. So that right now, at least, there's an idea of having 4 episodes each being 30 minutes long. And then instead of, I forgot to bold the format, instead of doing the, 5-on-5 X-Ball format, it would be 3-on-3. And I assume as well the same format of the NXL that, mercy rule, whatever, 7 or whatever it is. Probably not 7 and 3-man, but it would still be, X-Ball, but just 3v3, which I like. I mean, I think that's a lot easier to watch. It's a lot easier to film and edit. One of the things that Tom said that they liked about 3-man was just there's less players, right? So if they're going to do 4 episodes at these 30 minutes, if you have 8 teams, like it says there in the bottom, that's a whole shitload of players. So just reducing it to 3 players makes it maybe a little bit easier to tell that story rather than wonder who the other 9 guys are they didn't talk to on the team. So maybe having 3-on-3 and just 4 guys on each team would probably work well. And coming up in Ohio, they're going to do a pilot. So they're actually going to try this format, play 3-on-3, and then really just use the footage from that and knowledge and I guess experience from that to kind of sell the idea a little bit more. And I believe what's happened is the NXL, Major League Paintball, were approached to make this. So it's not like the NXL is making this to try to sell something. So this pilot is kind of an idea to see what it would look like. So there's already outside interest, and there's outside interest, it says right here, from multiple people. I think Tom also talked about that when they were talking about maybe ABC or NBC or some other multiple companies are involved, which is cool too, because it creates some sort of bidding war, or at least some sort of excitement that shows that, for some reason, great companies are interested in paintball. I put where right in the middle there because Tom said something weird. He said it'll probably be an online channel with ads, but I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's just spitballing, I think. But I think kind of what that might mean is that sort of like ESPN, right? I think that ESPN's online product is called ESPN Plus. I'm not 100% sure, but you can watch, ESPN on your regular cable subscription on your TV, or you can online kind of have a channel like ESPN Plus as well. So it would be over the air with ads or have some sort of online component as well. And what I also really liked was that Tom said, his main goal has kind of been maybe more recently, I think with this push to get outside sponsorship, get more eyes just on paintball in general, whether that's, through the previous NXL on ESPN or the new TV deal, is just to get eyes and money into paintball from the outside so that the players can make money. And really through that, everyone in the industry hopefully will benefit from that, right? They're not probably going to get, paychecks from the league like maybe some of the pro players will in the future or something. But, just having more interest in the sport can help everyone from manufacturers. It'd be helpful for me. It'd be helpful for paintball fields. It's helpful for everyone. I mean, really, there's just I don't think, any downside from having more investment and more money in paintball. Although, there's always bad things that can happen. I don't want us to, I don't want Planet Eclipse to be purchased by what the hell do they call those companies? Damn it, I don't know. Anyway. And it will be separate from the NXL. So you can see that where it says independent. It will be separate. So it's not like a, different NXL event. And I don't think it will be marketed as an NXL event either. So on ESPN in August, there will be that Atlantic City Major League Paintball NXL or whatever tournament. And this will be its own standalone kind of made for TV kind of production. We've done this before, though. I mean, there have been other, made for TV 3-man style things, and they weren't bad. What I would like to see is just some form of innovation or something that just makes this new version of TV stuff stand out from the previous stuff, because I don't know if 2009 TV was that great. Yep. And like I said, the top 8 teams probably, so they'll like just grab the top 8 NXL Pro teams, and then we'll likely be on TV show. Yep. What's going on in here? I see all these numbers on people. It's crazy. It's really actually kind of distracting. I have to throw gang signs. I don't know. I really don't like this numbers thing. It really kind of makes it like hard to look at. It's really kind of distracting. Is there any specific field it's going to happen at, or non-specific for now? I don't know what we're talking about. Oh yeah, Ohio. Yep. I could have put that on the, maybe I did. I put it on like the freaking, here's where it's going to be thing. Oh yeah, a pilot filmed in Ohio. Oh yeah, but the Ohio is the NXL tournament, so it's not going to be actually at like a regulator paintball field or whatever. I really don't like the numbers. They're super, super distracting. I can get rid of the numbers, in my view. You guys just bear with me real fast. We can try to delete the CSS. Okay, I'm not going to do that. That's going to take forever. Yeah, I don't know. What else we have to talk about? We can talk about Tom Cole. We talked about Tom Cole. Powerhouse's new regulator. I really do not like the goddamn numbers. They're so distracting. Is that a method logo? Where? I don't think so. Here? Okay. Powerhouse regulators. Let's just talk about Powerhouse regs. I haven't for a long time kind of like talked about like products from companies that, come out with stuff. I don't know. It's just been kind of like boring. So Powerhouse have something kind of interesting though. One of the things we've kind of talked about recently is the future of Ninja Paintball. We didn't really know what was happening with Ninja there though. They kind of like weren't around for a couple months there, but now we know they're going to be back in some form or fashion fairly soon. But one of the things that I was kind of worried about Ninja leaving was just a good quality, budget-ish regulator. Obviously, Powerhouse has made very good regulators for a handful of years now, but they're all high-end, so it makes it difficult if you just want a good, inexpensive tank rig for whatever reason. Maybe you don't want to spend $250 on a tank rig, or $190. So now Infamous / Powerhouse have the hook regulator, and we can kind of see a few differences between their higher end rig, that counterpunch, and the hook regulator. Not a whole lot though, right? I mean, obviously build quality is going to be about the same, although there are some things like we can see that cartridge material and the jet pin material are both stainless steel, whereas they're using aluminum on the hook regulator. And also, I was going to say the threads are aluminum, but that's what that cartridge material is. So we can... I thought I had a different picture. I do not have a different picture. There we go. The two probably like main things is just how they're adjusted. So the hook regulator kind of uses a traditional style shim stack, like a lot of regulators have. And those counterpunch regulators, like a lot of the previous Powerhouse regulators, they do have that like adjustment insert deal That's a little more complicated. Maybe it's better than that shim stack style. So they're just adjusted a little bit different. I would be surprised if we actually see any type of performance difference from the things. Those are kind of like, it's, you know, general features. It's still going to have that rotational adjustment, thread adjustment cartridge deal, just like all the previous Powerhouse regs. And I believe you should be able to change that cartridge to stainless steel as well. They're preset at 450 psi, and if you want to adjust it any higher, you actually have to purchase these shims separately. It's using those low profile burnt disc, which everybody always likes. The fill nip was a little bit different though. So the previous, not I say previous, but the other Powerhouse regulators have a little bit different fill style. So they, on like here, you can actually see, does it actually say it on here? Oh yeah, see on the third one, fill port. So the previous ones are a direct fill port, which means the air kind of, when you fill the tank, it kind of bypasses the reg seat, and it goes, when you're filling your tank, it goes directly into the bottle, and it kind of like bypasses the whole tank reg completely. Whereas the hook ones do not. It's a little bit more complicated to make it that way, and it's just kind of like the standard method that's been like this forever. So even though it's not as nice, it's not like some huge, you know, crazy, oh my God, I can't believe they're not using the direct fill. You know, it's not big of a deal. They're still using that wave spring that they've kind of been known for. And pro level construction, yeah, it's just made well. Mid-range price point at that $100. It's still expensive though, you know. I mean, the Pro V2, like Ninja regulators came out, they were like $70. And you could buy a regular tank reg for $40. Prices have pretty much doubled in the last 7 years or so on those high-end in the mid-range or low price point tank regulators now. And they're all made in the USA, which is cool. So I'm just kind of like that there's actually like a good, inexpensive, I shouldn't say inexpensive, but maybe more reasonably priced tank regulator from Powerhouse. Tariffs probably play a factor. I don't think so. Mainly because a lot of the people that work, not a lot, but I think, well, I don't know. Some of the guys that worked for Powerhouse worked for Ninja at one point in time, and Ninja also makes and turns all their regulators in the US. So it was probably just kind of made sense. I mean, they were already kind of used to manufacturing stuff in the US. And it does kind of make sense. I mean, they're not making like huge volumes to justify manufacturing in Asia either, I don't think. And they're pretty simple parts to make, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely helpful not having to deal with the tariffs. Just not knowing what the tariffs are is probably, you know, very stressful. That's some paintball news. If anyone's got like cool paintball questions, make sure to like the live stream. If you're here or when you leave, you know, give a little taparoo. By the way, is Billy Madison... Not Billy Madison. What's like number 2 movie with Adam Sandler? I don't know. I can't remember. Richard says, I used to shoot Happy Gilmore. There we go. Chris, thank you. What is it? I used to shoot RP or PRS myself. What the heck's PRS? I'm not sure what PRS. Why do I think it's like long range air rifles? Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah, I don't know. All those movies they try to bring back, like they just kind of suck, right? They just never, I don't know. They're just kind of like lame. They always just try to like, you know, make cash grabs and they just kind of suck. Cameron Holland says, we are trying to run so many different simulations at work depending on, what the tariffs are going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine. Nate, have you talked about Henry Stentz going back to Revo and Arsenal? No, I have not. Although that's about all I would say. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, you know? So Henry was on, remind me though, so Henry was on Ironman, yes. Yeah. That's about all I know. PRS, Precision Rifle Series. Okay, bolt action, shot round, sack area. What is shot, bolt action, shot round, sack area? I don't know. I was watching some sort of rifle competition thing the other day. I don't know, something just popped up on YouTube and it was like dudes sniping stuff. Denzel, what'd you miss? Not a lot. Someone asked something and I was like, elaborate. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry. You know, I don't know. I was gonna talk about the ICPL, but like, I don't know. It's so hard to like find out information about the ICPL. Like, we just never know like whatever happens with the ICPL. It's like in the woods and no one ever takes pictures. There's no like really good pictures of the ICPL. But this past weekend in Virginia, right? Yeah, Chesapeake City, the ICPL Bay City Classic wrapped up. Chicago Aftershock took home first place. Farside took second. Followed by the Hurricanes in third. Image in fourth. And Infamous were actually down there, I believe, in sixth. Then over in the amateur division, the Dark Carnival guys, they're doing very well. Fraction got second place, and the Philadelphia Iconic in third place, as well as the Canadian Thrashers in fourth place. We do have a picture though here of the Chicago Aftershock gentlemen. Will you know some of those guys? I'm not sure. Looks like we have Paul Everett. I'm not gonna look at everyone's names. I can't see. It's so small on the monitor. I'm like, who is that guy? Anyway, the ICPL wrapped up. The International Continental Paintball League. Nope, Ghost Style got it. The International Classic Paintball League. Prime Suspects, they also did good at the ICPL. Cool. I don't know. I mean, it's probably most of these teams, like, like this is the Aftershock roster, and like none of those guys play for Aftershock right now. I don't think. Got JC Weddington in the background. I think. Is it TJ? So a lot of those guys like aren't even on Aftershock. You know, it's like Infamous. Infamous have their ICPL team, and most of the Infamous guys don't even play for the real Infamous roster. So I would assume it's like older guys, like 1, 2, 3 Kirk Truck. I like the Kirk Turk though. That's way cooler. Kirk Turk. Schwartz says, wait, Henry is going back to Baltimore? Apparently. I don't know. I missed that, though. That wouldn't be too surprising. I missed a lot this week. Oh, yeah, Thomas Mantoni, sure. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Huh. That's cool. All right, what else we got to talk about? I don't know. We'll do this. I'm not good at talking about this stuff. I don't know what to say. I do know what to say about, like, goddamn, don't, I guess I click that. The late Jerry Caro, there's a GoFundMe, that is going to Jerry's mother. Originally was set up to pay for funeral expenses, but you know, whatever. I think any money they give him, great. That's right. Give him $1 million. So who cares what the money's for? Yeah, it's just cool that we can help support possibly a family member of someone who is a big part of the paintball community, whether you're, know Jerry personally, or, like me, just watched him play paintball. It was organized by Harris Hussein. Harris would have played with Jerry on New York Extreme for a couple years there. Yep. I feel like I need to talk forever because it's like disrespectful not to talk forever about this stuff. I don't know what to say, guys. I feel more comfortable talking about Dan Bilzerian. Should we just talk about that? I did see who watched Marcelo on Paintball Nerd. That was pretty, I'm fine with that. I think everything Marcelo said is good. And, I'd probably, say a lot of that stuff. I'd hope I could say a lot of that stuff. I ain't got no problem with Marcelo. Yep. I also think that Dan is like so bad at like explaining himself. I mean, part of the problem is he's just so bad at fucking talking. It's insane to me. God, the chat is so slow tonight. Give me something to talk about. I don't want to talk about Dan Bilzerian. If you leave me up to my own devices, we're just going to talk about Dan. Why would I talk about Tom Brady? What's going on here? Brandon, I don't know. Brandon Olsen. Like a Brandon Olsen on like Uprising at one point or something. So there's decent stuff out on the ICPL, but yeah, I wish it were better. I love Woods Ball. I just wish that I just wish they were like more people taking pictures of it, so I could like post pictures and we could talk about the pictures and stuff. Because it's just kind of hard to talk about if we don't have any like visuals to like talk about. Who knows? Oh, okay, we're gonna talk about Dan. The world is mad at Dan about his podcast interviews, but nowhere do they mention his N marker. How many asterisks did you put there? I don't know. Are we saying Nazi marker? We've definitely talked about that, so I don't know. Where's the oldest meaningless marker you would still play with given the chance? What's the oldest meaningless, though? What do you mean by that? What do we mean by meaningless? I don't know. I'm trying to think. The oldest gun. What do you mean by meaningless? I'm curious. Just let me know. I'll keep watching and then we'll answer that. We'll do that one. Do you have a job outside of paintball? No, unfortunately not. No. Or fortunately, yes. I don't know. But no. Who knows? Oh, Spider Classic. 2002 World Cup fields. Those were the best 10-man fields. Probably like the hyperball fields and stuff. Hyperball and airball. They would have done hyperball and airball. In 2002 World Cup, there was hyperball and airball. I can tell you that the finals were held on airball. I know that for sure. Man, I used to have an old Piranha. My first paintball gun was Piranha. Well, meaningless doesn't mean mechanical, or maybe you tried to spell mechanical and it spelled meaningless. That makes more sense. Man, what's the oldest mechanical gun that I would play with? I mean, really anything, really, I don't know. Because it's like, when I'm playing, I'm just there to dick around and have fun. So it's like, I don't care. So I'd use anything. I mean, what's like the oldest gun that I've actually played with, though? I don't know. Probably, honestly, not something that old. It was probably like a 90... Because I had a Bob Long. I had like a Bob Long autococker at one point, and that was probably like, I think it was like 90. That was like a 97 or like a 98. That's probably the oldest gun I've ever used. Although I was gifted an auto mag. I haven't used it yet, and I haven't actually seen it yet. I haven't gotten to my possession yet. So I don't know how old that one is, though. But I haven't used it though either. I'm trying to think about everything I've used, and it's like, I don't know, because like, I was never into old guns. It's like, when I started playing paintball, it was like straight to tournaments. So it was like just straight to the newest, coolest stuff. And then like it had zero interest in anything old. And that's kind of what it was like at that time too. I mean, 2002 or whatever, it's like not a lot of people were using old guns. Everyone was just all into like, getting the cool newest stuff. I mean, people were using cockers and auto mags still, but they weren't using like weird pump guns and like, stuff from the 80s and stuff. Whereas now, we're kind of seeing far more, variety at the paintball field. There's all kinds of stuff. You get brand new tournament guns. You get guys using 20-year-old tournament guns. You get pump guns and cockers and whatever, all kinds of nonsense. Steve John says, what are my favorite elbow pads currently? I don't know, let's go find out. I'm like trying to think about them all. And it's like, I don't talk about like paintball every single day anymore. I mean, it's still goddamn close. Where am I? I can't see. Where should I go here? Brands, tanks, masks, barrels, probably not there. How about clothing and apparel? How about protective gear? How about elbow arm pads? So let's see. I can tell you all these I like though and don't like. What if we like sort by bestseller? And I also think it kind of matters what you're doing, right? I mean, that's like one of the things that I've kind of said to people is it matters what's going on, right? So if you're, say like me, right? I just want elbow pads to have a little bit of protection on my arms, right? I like to wear short sleeve shirts a lot. So I kind of prefer just to have something on my arm, right? I'm not a guy who's diving around a lot. I mean, I'm diving every 3 years. And at this point, I hope I don't dive. So, I don't need like the craziest, most durable pads out there. So anything works for me. And I would probably think that a lot of people that are like myself are going to want stuff that's a little bit lighter weight, right? So like these free flex elbow pads for everyone have been very popular. But I think personally, my favorite elbow pads are probably these dye ones. I mean, out of everything sold, I like probably still the dye ones. I think that if you're a front player and you're super aggressive, their infamous pads are probably also going to be very good. This is the T3 elbow pad. I meant to say these. That's what I meant to go to. They're the Free Flex Exalt ones. Because they're a little bit lighter weight and maybe not as thick and like crazy durable as the infamous ones. But they are elbow pads, so it is kind of not as important. With like knee pads and stuff, knee pads have to fit. Just by the nature of how we use our legs. If you're sliding, your knee pads can just slide down your leg. So they need to fit, whereas the elbow pads don't really matter as much. You know, I would wear double X dye elbow pads. I'd get the biggest size I could. Not because they fit better, just because they were a little bit baggier, really. They were a little baggier. It made them a little bit looser. And again, like, I'm not diving that much, so I don't even really need them to fit at all. I just needed something on my arm. But even if they are a little big, they don't really move around. You're going to dive, and if you have that hand cover thing, it's going to kind of hold the whole pad in place. For the most part. I mean, if you're like, you know, freaking crazy athletic person going wild in the snake, that might be a little bit different. But I've always liked the dye elbow pads. I've always been a fan of them. There's also all the tops and stuff like that. There's all like the padded like jersey top things and whatever. Like these things. I don't know though. These have always been weird to me and they're just kind of hot, you know, so I kind of prefer just to wear elbow pads over these like protective top kind of things. I don't know what we're going to call these. It's all kind of preference. Ghost Style says, I like Pro DNA gear in general. So do I. Yeah, everything Infamous makes is really pretty good. I mean, they don't really make anything bad. I feel like everything's priced well, but then maybe like a little bit higher quality than a lot of the other stuff out there. You know, I'd like Infamous to, you know, hook it up or something, you know. Maybe they can send over a hook regulator. A hook regulator. Eventually this will go through and you'll see a hook regulator right there. Hook regulators. Yeah, that's one of the things I think that the carbon stuff, Steve said, the carbon looks like it can rip easy. Yeah, and it's because it's like, I'm thinking. I don't think I have like elbow pads. I don't think I have any like elbow pads. My speaker is on. Because it's like, well, I'll show you. We'll see if these pictures can kind of like, I do have these. I do like the HK pads too, but they're just a little bit thick. Like they're just really kind of thick. Like the actual like pad part right here, it's just really, I don't know, it's just really thick. I don't like them so much because of that. So like carbon and open that. So for sure, I mean, this material, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, maybe you can kind of tell, but it's definitely lightweight. It's not like super thick material. Whereas like these are, the Infamous pads are much more robustly and like solidly built. So these are definitely not going to rip. But, you know, it depends. Maybe, you know, you don't want that really like heavy durable pad. Because like these would never rip if I was wearing them. I mean, I could wear these for 15 years and they're never, you know, no one's ever going to have a problem with them. So they would just work for me. Pads. Yeah, they're one of those things that's like best tried on for sure. But elbow pads, like I said, you can get away with them not fitting perfect. Knee pads are for sure something that has to be tried on. I mean, you don't have to, but it's for sure better. Oh, Zyzik played with them? Zyzik played on the Aftershock roster. Can we find him in this picture? I think I'd have recognized him, right? It's so hard for me to see this picture, though. Is that him in the middle? I thought that was a Mexican guy. Oh, maybe Zylek's not Mexican. Maybe, no. Maybe he is. Maybe it's the angle. Shock roster was stacked. Yeah, it's cool to see like JC. That was cool to see JC in the back. I think it was JC. He's Armenian and Mexican. I don't know. No idea. We're getting into Dan Bilzerian territory though, guys. Oh, that is Gerald Garcia. There we go. I'm like, why do I know? I'm like, I think I know who that is, but I was like, why am I blanking on him? It's obviously Gerald on the very far left. Very far left. Rodney Squires. Definitely not in this picture, right? Unless Rodney's on the far right and shrunken. Got smaller and... What am I doing here? Anyway. Let's see if I have any other topics we can talk about. I'm not, I want to get this a little bit more ready. And, I mean, we kind of have NXL brackets. But I was going to, wait to probably talk about these more. Just because I want to, I don't know, get the data to try to figure out which bracket's the hardest. I mean, we can probably guess on which bracket's the hardest. I mean, I would say that Group A... I don't know, though. I was going to say that Group A was maybe the easiest, but having Heat in there as well is crazy. So I don't know. Maybe Group C. Group C is the hardest? Or D? C or D? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? C? A, B, C, or D? Group C? We got a Group C. We got one guy. We got a C. We got a C. We got an A. Group A. Yeah, A is not much easier, is it? Hardest in what way? Which is the most difficult bracket? So if your team was in one of these brackets or one of these groups in these columns, which bracket or which group would you rather play in if your team had to play in them? Group C, A? You got some C's and A's. Yeah, I mean, A's, I want to say A also, but I don't know. I just feel like Infamous haven't been that good in a while. They're just kind of mediocre, So it's I don't know. But I see Group C and I'm like Red Legion, Tauntauns, AC Diesel, and Aftershock. That's ooh. A is easy if you're fit. Yeah, that is so true. That is true though, huh? That is true. So if you're the tier 1 team, which bracket is the easiest? So Paintball Fit would probably rather play in Group A. That is true, right? Because if I'm Paintball Fit, I don't probably want to play Damage. And I probably don't want to play X Factor. I think that I would be okay playing the Tauntauns and Uprising. That is true. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll crunch the numbers and we'll figure it out for real. Soon enough. If you take Fit out of A, it's a group of life. That's funny. It's not the bracket of death. It's the bracket of life. I know, it is kind of weird to say bracket though, huh? I always say bracket, but it does say group. So they're not technically brackets, they're technically groups. Mark, what's up, doggy? Leverage goes 0-4 and disagrees. What do you mean they disagree? Leverage is going to go 0-4. Are they going to score 2 points this tournament? Let's go back. Let's look at that. So didn't I remember I took notes on this, but let's close some of his tabs. I know I took notes on this. NXL Midwest Open. Nope, that's not right. Atlantic City. Scores. It's loading scores, prelims. Leverage scored a point. That's brutal, dude. That's fucking rough, dude. Shit sucks. That's rough. They scored a point in AC, and let's go find this one. Nope. This one. Is that gonna work? Yeah, right? Oh man, so yeah, I mean, really in Tampa, they didn't do bad. I mean, that's not bad at all. I mean, 0-5, or they got beat 0-5 to Infamous. They fought 4-5 against Aftershock, and 4-5 against Uprising is also really good. They got smoked by Impact 0-6 though. So Tampa wasn't too bad for them, but I mean, getting you know, leverage right here, only scoring 1 point against the Tauntauns. That kind of sucks. Extreme didn't do much better though. I mean, yeah, they did. That's not fair. I just saw their margin. Dang, that sucks, dude. It's probably as good as I would do. Yeah, I think Paintball Fit probably will win again. I expect it, you know. I do. We'll run the numbers again. I'm gonna run a bunch of numbers and we'll like figure out the statistics and the probabilities of them winning and not. Brad, next WU CVPL event, I'm rostering you for Pump. I've never even played Pump. When the heck is the WCPPL? The West Coast Paintball Players League wrapped up this past weekend. Okay, I remember we talked about this and I was like, are we talking about World Cup or are we talking about WCPPL? Can't we go like all the way to the bottom or something like that and find stuff? There it is. So did they had Pump at this tournament too? Oh, they did have Pump. Huh. Yeah, I've never played Pump. It's never happened. I don't know. It's just never intrigued me. You know, like I got no problem playing with mechanical guns, and it's not even that I want to shoot fast, you know? I'll shoot a ball a second, you know, I don't care. I just don't want to pump the goddamn thing. I just want to pull the trigger and like a paintball come out. I don't want to worry about pumping it. I don't want to do that. I should say a shout out to the Supreme gentlemen, some local Sacramentans. Some of you may notice some of these cats. And Greg Coast I thought was kind of cool as well. Shout out Supreme. Austin's probably the only guy I don't know. Do I know Austin? No, I know Austin. What am I talking about? Yep. Shout out Supreme. They won Division 3, which is, I don't know. It's kind of like D3 plus. I mean, I think that the Division 3, look at how many teams they had as well. I mean, 29 teams. And then 15 teams. There's also some local cats in there. And then 15 teams in that Premier Division. It's a lot of teams. Look at all the D4. I mean, Jesus Christ. 50 D4 teams is a lot. D5, 21. Some of you guys might be happy about Protocol taking 5th place. I think they got 5th. Yeah, shitload of teams. It's actually kind of cool to see. Never played Pump. Who knows? I mean, autocockers is just a pneumatic assisted pump. It's true. Sure. What about a Rainmaker? I'd get a Rainmaker. I never played with a Rainmaker. I don't even know if I've touched a Rainmaker. Did the Dirtbags like win? I didn't even look at the pump teams. I didn't even think about the Dirtbags. Are they on there? Nope. None of the D-bags. What are you talking about here? And mate, damn, Mark, I texted you. I could be Ben. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, Dirtbag's retired. Oh, Protocol got third. Well, that's good. I mean, that's good. Dude, it'd be so weird to play for that team. It'd be so weird. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, you guys are playing D5. I was like, you know, I've been on some teams before, or like, you know, nothing like this, nothing like the Protocol team where like everything's paid for, but I've been on some teams that were like, you know, everything's paid for and stuff. But it's like, I don't know, and that is kind of cool, but it's like we're playing D5. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just odd. I see Marcelo had a solid practice with damage past weekend. That's cool. I mean, they're going to be very, very good. I mean, damage is going to be like, I don't know, like really, really good. I mean, I don't know, maybe not like crazy, because it's not like, you know, it's not like they got like a whole new roster or anything. I mean, we thought AC Diesel were going to be like really, really good at one point, you know, and AC Diesel have proven that winning paintball tournaments, damn it, that's not what I meant to do. Winning paintball tournaments is a little bit harder than just assembling like a mega super roster. I do feel like this is too many pro teams in a way, right? Look at all those damn things. I mean, look at them all. Where the hell's damage at? He's probably not even on the roster. Maybe is he on the roster? Think they added him yet? Does not look like it. And why is Jacob's picture black? Is he like special? He's like the leader. Right in the middle. Black background. I bet Fit would lose playing at 15. Why? Why so? What do you think? I mean, I don't think it'll be any different. I'm with Mark. Hit that like button. I'm going to show you my nipple. I almost flashed the screen. Yeah, why 15? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I honestly think they might be better. You know, one of the things I've always thought about, like 15, Colt is number 1. Why are you number 1? Why are the numbers back? They were like gone for a minute. Now they're back. So confusing. Yeah, I think that like, I've always wondered, right? Like, I think paintball's gone through like a couple phases, and it's like back when we shot 15, the guns didn't shoot as well, so they weren't as accurate, and the players just weren't as good, right? So just in general, they wouldn't like, the guns just didn't shoot as straight, right? And you couldn't shoot people off the break as easy. Now, the guns are so much better, and like, there's just, everything's better. I mean, they're way more reliable. The velocity is more consistent. They don't kick as much. They're quieter. You know, they can shoot more brittle paint. Just everything nowadays, it makes it easier to shoot people off the break, except for the rate of fire thing. So I really wondered, like, man, if you go to the best off the break shooting team, and you're like, okay, now you shoot 15 balls a second. Do the pro teams now, is it way easier for them to shoot people off the break? I don't know, you know, probably. I don't know. One of the things that was weird back in the day too is there were just so fewer bunkers. I mean, there's like, honestly, probably 30 to 40% more bunkers now, and they're all huge. You know, the biggest bunker back in the day was the X, obviously at the center, but other than that, it was the tower. And towers were also smaller back then too. They weren't as wide. And now we have a brick and the wedge and like all these fucking huge bunkers, which are good and bad too. You know, I think that the bigger bunkers kind of like help facilitate movement and stuff like that a little bit more. They need to remove the bricks. I don't know. I really don't know, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so, really. If you think about it, like, I think that, like, back, like, 2005, right? If you watch X-Ball, they definitely do block the cameras. That's for sure. That's for sure. Although, I don't know, man. I think the new camera angles that they've been running are also really good. But I think, like, back in the day... Wow, I lost my train of thought. You had distracted me with the block camera angles. Well, okay. So one of the things that I think we saw with player skill improving in, like, 2012, 2014, 15, is that we saw more lower scoring games. I don't know if this is true. This is kind of just what it feels like. We saw, like, more lower scoring games in, like, the X-Ball format, right? Because the game felt like it slowed down. And whether that's because of mentality or skill improving, I don't know. But the game definitely got slower. And I think that adding the bigger bunkers has helped speed it back up again. Because it's so hard to, like, find out where people are at, you know? It's like, back in the day, it was like you knew where everybody was because there were only like a handful of bunkers. And now it's like, you know, it's just way easier to like hide and stuff like that. I don't know though. What are we saying they do? Think about how much better it would be now with those better cameras on old school fields. I don't know. I mean, it's not even like, it's just the camera. I don't know. I don't know it's better. I really don't. I don't know. Either way, I really like the new camera angles they're using. Like, they had the sideline camera on the cable, and then putting the cameras way in back center was cool too. Yeah, some brains, it was just different, right? I remember, like, when X-Ball started, right? Like, I remember when it started, and it was like, it was weird. It was like, before that we played 7-man and 10-man. We really just kind of played 10-man, right? It was all 10-man. Maybe you played 5-man or, you know, 3-man locally, but I remember how it was like, they told us it's supposed to be faster, right? We made, you know, it's full auto now, and it's made halves, and we turned it into you're actually scoring points rather than just playing one game. So it was like, oh, you can score points? We should just play super fast, and like, this is supposed to be played super fast, and like, you're supposed to play super fast, and like, everybody just played super fast because we thought we were supposed to play super fast. So everybody would like, every team would go to the snake off the break, and you'd get up and try to do run-throughs all the time, and it was just crazy because we just thought we were supposed to do that. And then over time, it's kind of like maybe slowed down a little bit because we've kind of maybe settled a little bit more or something. I don't know. Who knows? I got no idea. Fields are shorter now than before. We used to have the car wash in the NPPL. It was way bigger. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I keep saying X-Ball. Because there were like, for sure, the NPPL had like the car wash, which was huge. They had the car wash, they did those like spike things. Yeah, they had big bunkers, for sure. But the NXL, and even in this like X-Ball format that we're currently playing, it's also gone through like field dimensional changes as well. It used to be like, I don't know, I forget now, but it was shorter and then longer, and then they've like constantly been like changing it back and forth. Yeah, those pins were weird. Those like lane blockers, the like real pins that were like only like this big around. They were very weird. We don't know. Wolfpecker, lane denial has changed the way tournaments are played too. Like holding zones and stuff, you mean? I don't know. Scott, grab yourself some Paintball Ruined My Life merch. Oh shit. From the Paintball Ruined My Life store. You know, you can buy Paintball Ruined My Life headbands over there. You can buy this cool hat right here over there. Paintball Ruined My Life headbands are $30. There's a 3-pack for $75. There's barrel covers on there as well. I wasn't really sure if that was going to work. We'll go back. There's barrel covers on there as well. Barrel covers are $3. No, they're $5. No, they're $7. Why did I say they're $3? I don't know. I was thinking about there's a 3-pack for $15. And, you know, barrel covers are always something you're going to need. You're always going to need your headbands. So, you know, if you ever want to, you know, think about supporting your favorite paintball YouTuber, there's like 6 of us, maybe. Think about, you know, supporting through buying something from the Paintball Ruined My Life store. Whether that is barrel covers, you know, there's these hats, there's shirts over there. Check it out. Do shirts run true to size? Chris says, yeah, I think so. For sure, yeah. Because I wear larges and everything that I've really ever made. And I just wear large t-shirts normally, so I'd say so. They're not like skinny shirts or like something. Yeah. I can't remember what size like hoodies I have though, that I've like personally gotten. There's so many different styles over the years, but I think so. Nothing was crazy shaped. OnlyFans. It's 508. Kind of hot. Goddamn, I've been working on this JT Proflex video for so long. I ordered, I had to buy some props, and I just ordered some cheap stuff off Amazon to film for a little scene, and it got lost, and then I'm like, fuck, I'll just order another one, and then it was like, it'll be here in a day, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was going to be like 4 days, and it was like a week, and then it's like, fuck. So it finally got here on Sunday, yesterday, so, okay. Hopefully I can film that soon. I'd like to start doing, like, you know, more of that stuff, but it just makes it a little bit more involved. Hostility. Now, man, made me correct myself. I have no idea what you're saying. Now, did you stab a hole through that mason jar lid, or is it made like that? Oh, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? A jar lid, and then these little silicone, like, they're freaking awesome. I love these things. This one's kind of dirty. And just screw that bad boy on there. Boop. You know, I like them because I knock shit over all the time. So if I knock it over, it's got a little bit of like a lid on top so that it doesn't, like, you know, spill all over the place. I like drinking out of glass. I don't know. I don't know. You know, plastic's everywhere, and I just try to, like, not eat and drink out of plastic as much as possible. Plus, I kind of like it more. You know? Because technically, like, when you leave water in plastic, it, like, leaches in. It's kind of weird. Hey, bro. What setup you running cutely? I don't know. What do you mean, what setup am I running? As far as, like, paintball setup? Or what kind of drinks do I like? When I go play paintball, which has been a while, I don't think I've played paintball this year. I honestly don't know. I use an EMEC, the Planet Eclipse EMEC, and all kinds of other stuff. I've got a bunch of tanks, I've got a bunch of hoppers and different barrels, so I kind of use different stuff every time I play. But for the most part, the EMEC and all kinds of hoppers, yeah. I mean, I'd say most of the time I use Aspire, but I really do have a load of different hoppers that I sporadically use. Yeah, I haven't played this year. I mean, I've been to the field a bunch. I mean, I was at the field last weekend. So I'm going to the paintball field. I just don't, sometimes I just don't play. Plastic makes whiskey taste funny. I bet it does. It's like, I always try to use thermoses too with coffee, and I can't put coffee in a stainless steel thermos. I just taste freaking metal. So, I've got an idea for that. Yeah, I use 100% stock EMEC. All I did was take out the trigger spring. And it is a very old EMEC as well, so it doesn't have like the higher end FL3 valve in it. It's got like the old cheap one, which... I saw so many spires explode off the break. Yeah, that's just people that don't know how to put their equipment back together. It's like I had the Empire Z2 hopper for a very long time. I used the Z2 for like 3 or 4 years, and it was notorious for coming apart. I mean, it would like the whole thing would explode, but it was like all because people just weren't putting it together. I mean, 99% of the time, it was like people that just don't put them together right. For some reason, they're not closing it, or I don't know. Yeah. What's up, Cole? What are we talking about? An IR3? I don't know if I've technically shot in. Oh no, yeah, I have. Take that back. What do you think about the carbon loader? I held one. They're heavy. Yeah, I know I held one too. They're heavy. I don't know if it's heavier than this. Is it heavier than a rotor though? Is it heavier than an LTR? That I don't know. I don't know. Never had a spire blow up, thankfully. My Control 2 is now holding up well, as well. Besides brittle paint breaking inside of it. Yeah, that's hard, though. I mean, that's like a brittle paint problem. The control's probably more likely to fly apart, I would assume. What is your most obscure paintball product, like mine, that I own? God, I don't know. I don't own anything crazy. I mean, I do. I mean, there's stuff around here that is retarded. Like, it's just stupid shit that I have that nobody else has. But none of it's, like, cool. I don't know, Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. That's not even, like... I don't know. I've gotten rid of so much stuff. I used to just have so much random stuff in a boxes, but I've kind of gotten rid of a lot of that nonsense. I don't know. I mean, you guys, a lot of people probably don't have this. This is really dusty, but it's a mask display from for dye. Got masks. This is kind of a weird product to have. What about... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if... Is it heavier than the rotor, though? I don't know. Mine is either an FN303. You have an FN303? Those are cool. I don't know what a war machine is. think about like, not Metallica, isn't War Machine? That's like a whatchamacallit song. Chris, just bought an EMEC. Loader recommendations. Have a Spire 5, IR2, OG rotor, and OG Revy. Well, you don't need anything. I don't know. I still think that like, you need still a fast hopper, you know, like I have my Revolution, my Revy somewhere around here, and I've tried to use it with my EMEC, and it just doesn't work. It's not fast enough. I don't know, somewhere around here, but it just is, yeah, it still wouldn't keep up, even though you're like, oh, I only shoot like 7 balls a second with the thing. It still wouldn't keep up, so I still want something electric. And I probably should Aspire. Sec Roots, he says rotor. ANS or Lone Wolf? Neither. You need to visit. Damn it. I thought that the thing was still open. Both ANS gear and I was going to say both of them suck and they're terrible, but that's kind of mean. I don't want to say that. BFPgear.com, or you can go to Black Friday Paintball. Just like in the, the lower corner of this, BFP gear is where you should be buying stuff. Not ANS or Lone Wolf. Although they're not, they're not bad. Yeah, I don't only say BFP gear because they sponsor these videos. I really would say them anyway. Honestly. Because they're like my friends and I know them. So either way, I'd say them. Unless... I won't say that. Support women-owned paintball enterprises. Yeah, we should. Are there any, though? Yeah, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. What is a War Machine? A War Machine, is it a grenade launcher? The War Machine. Grenade launcher is crazy. I don't know a lot about that stuff. Who made like the I know with the FN 303. Well, let's look at some of that stuff because a lot of you guys probably don't know what we're even talking about. But I might as well like show like a quick video of this stuff or something. I know that there's actually like good videos on the FN 303, right? The FN 303 Coach's show's on. Todd's on the Coach's show right now. So, I'm gonna mute this. There is like some paintball person did this. Did like Mike from Tech PB or something do a video? Where's this one? I remember like watching a video back in the day that was really cool. Man, I've kind of forgotten about this. So I thought that was Mr. Beat. You guys know who Mr. Beat is? Not Mr. Beast, Mr. Beat. Please, I would love it if someone was like, I watch Mr. Beat videos. So I don't know what this was. So at one point this thing was like sold as like something else. So like it obviously shoots first strike rounds, but it was like originally it was like something else. I can't really remember. And they like, this company like converted it to shoot paintballs or something. I don't remember. Obviously, that's a TIPX. Or no, it's not. That's a T 8.1 or a T9. What I don't remember. Huh. Those shots are really good though. The FN303. What if I type in War Machine Paintball? Oh my gosh, is this it? No. We're gonna get like, whoa, look at that thing. That's like a blast. I was like, that looks like a blaster from Star Wars. With lead dust filled first strike rounds? Are they trying to get people cancer? They're trying to make people crazy. Anyway. That's about what those are, right? Fucking Christ. What is this person? This is like a samurai or something. Whoa. So those may be the rounds. That's what I was looking for. Those are maybe the rounds that, are they lead filled? That's crazy. I know they made like, I don't know, ones that were filled with like talcum powder or some nonsense. Mercury, I know, freaking mercury and lead filled. That's funny. Crazy. Steven Seagal fan. Probably is. He will mess you up. He's like really old, though. Now everybody's so old. Like Chuck Norris is like 95. It's like, what are we doing? Chuck Norris will still kick your ass, though. Because the eyes of the Ranger are upon you. The eyes of the Ranger are upon you. You know, we're still not 100% sure what's happening with Ninja either, huh? I also have that in my notes of stuff. So what's everyone's opinion on as an automag for mech play? I don't know. I mean, they're not like bad guns. It's just so weird nowadays, you know? It's like, when you can buy an E-mech, you know, brand new for $300, and it shoots better than an automag is ever going to, and it's going to be lighter weight, and like easier to take apart, and like easier to get parts for, and like everything's just better about like the E-mech. So it's just difficult. I think that if people are, you know, nostalgic for it and all that stuff, go for it, you know? But if you want, like, you know, the best performance for cheap or something, there's probably better choices. I'll put that right there. Yeah, Ninja, I don't think I don't think done, because they released like a statement that said they were being acquired by something. I forget the name of the company, but they're like gonna come back, and they're gonna be distributed by the same company that owns First Strike. Private equity company, I think, or something weird like that. But other than that, I don't think they haven't like said anything, or, you know, and made any like huge announcement. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hope so. It's one of the things we talked about earlier on, is that I really like how you guys should go buy some barrel covers. I really liked how the new, why is this picture not displaying itself? Why is this, whoa. Bitch, what? Okay, there we go. I like how the new hook regulator right here, this one right there, I have to hit this button, this regulator. I like how they're $100, you know, because Ninja, if Ninja goes away, we need something at this price, but I don't like $100. It's gotta be, I mean, there's gotta be a way to make it cheaper than $100, you know? It's like, I don't know, it's just $100. It seems expensive, you know, where, you know, you can buy like cheap regulators on ANS. You can buy, I was gonna say Amazon. I guess you can. But like, let's just go over here and go to ebay.com. You can go a paintball tank regulator. I mean, $34 is pretty good. But there's like these are $30, dude, and they're really not bad. They're really actually pretty good. So there's a lot of like other cheap options, you know, so $100 is not like super affordable. Obviously, they're probably going to be better than these HK ones, but I really do like those standard, inexpensive Empire tank regs. That are just, you know, cheap tank regs. But it is cool to see, obviously, a better made, budget-ish version, say. Who knows? Explain to me why it's justified. Justified what, me? What's justified? I don't know what we're talking about. It's already passed. Aqua cleaning. Are you I don't know why I feel like you're a fish tank cleaner. What are we talking about? The Angel air tanks? Yeah, I used one of those Angel air regs for a very long time. But not on a paintball gun. I had it hooked up to a scuba tank and then a hose coming off it to like, use guns and stuff. Private equity firms? Someone's watching the stream rewound and leaving comments. Alright guys, I'm just gonna go. I want to go eat and I don't know. I had to get new tires today. My car, because Saturday I got a freaking screw in my tire. So I had to buy new tires. It's always fun. Holding companies? Joey, what am I gonna eat for dinner? I don't know yet. I don't know what's going on, but I'm very hungry. I know that I have 3 chicken breasts in the refrigerator. I might just eat a chicken breast real fast. Side hurts. Dude, it's the first time I bought like cheap tires. I've always bought in like, you know, middle of the road tires because it's like kind of makes the most sense. You know, you think about paintball guns and it's like, you know, the middle priced stuff is typically the best value and like, you know, whatever. So I've always bought in like, you know, middle of the road tires and I'm like, why? Like, I don't know if I'm going to gain anything from spending more money. So I bought like really cheap tires and we're going to see how it goes. They were, shit, I don't even remember the name of them right now. Century something, I believe. Century something. Yeah, I know. We're like, okay, I need like, you know, good grip. I gotta stop fast, you know, whatever. But like, I don't know. I've never been in a car accident. I've never crashed a car. I've never, I don't know. I don't drive at night. I don't drive in the rain. I drive like very little. You know, I drive like 8,000 miles a year or something like that, maybe. We'll see. Why should you never get cheap tires, though? What's going to happen? Like, I understand, like, you know, why, like, better, what better tires do. But yeah, I drive about 8 to 9,000 miles a year. I have 37,000 miles on my car or something like that, and I got it in 2019. Of course, you blow out the tires, but they're not like, how often are people blowing tires out? Like, of course, like, higher end tires are probably constructed a little better. They have like better ply and that kind of stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't know if they're that dangerous. Because if they were that dangerous, though, would we be selling them? If you were a company, like, if they were that dangerous, would these companies even be, like, selling them? Because, like, I can't imagine what the insurance would be if, like, you were selling a product that, like, killed people all the time. Because of its failure, Oh, I know. I thought all about this. I'm like, why do I need better tires? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. What was the TV news? You can go back to like literally almost the first couple minutes, and I talked all about it. You just gotta like go back. The 1999 Explorer Firestone tires. I don't know. My parents bought it at Ford Explorer. It probably around that time. Maybe it was like, nah. Yeah. It was probably a little later. Maybe like 2000. And they actually they ended up giving us a new car because it had so many problems. They actually it was actually a lemon. And apparently that's really rare, and they didn't believe us, and they had to get like a new rear end, like 2 separate times, and all kinds of stuff. Firestone people or president's daughters doesn't because of one. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Fucking tires. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. What are we trying to say? Firestone? I don't know. I think I kind of get it. I'm also horrible at reading. I read inside out. Brad, your dad didn't buy impounded cars? No, I guess not. I've gone to the police auction before and did car stuff. I don't know. It's probably my mom. I mean, my mom's probably like, I want this car, or, whatever. Something like that. All right, guys. Soon I won't have a car and will not ever drive again when I move to Nice? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Firestone CEO or president's daughter died from Firestone tire failure. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I just think about like the insurance you've got to have, or like, how does that work? I can't imagine. I was trying to think if I ever had have I ever like actually had tire problems ever? I did run over a pair of keys once, like a whole set of keys, like a whole fucking mash of keys on like a key ring, and one of the keys stuck straight into the tire, and I was like, I was like dragging these keys and hitting the wheel well. That was pretty crazy. Cars are the worst though. So. Alright, guys. I'm gonna go eat some chicken breast. In the meantime, I don't know.